What's up, side hustlers? Getting everything kind of ready here and getting started with our little Facebook Live. This is going to be my first one in this group today, so just want to make sure everything's working. Let's make sure. And what's happening here? There we go. All right, we are live, so I can kind of see all the comments and everything now when I'm able to look over, and we're good. So first of all, welcome to this group. Many of you are brand new to the group in just the last week, and there's a reason for that. We just started the group in this last week, and I'm so glad and grateful that you are here. I think it is awesome. And as you are either a full-on entrepreneur who has let the side hustle part go and you're running a business, or if you are a side hustler who is trying to move into a full-time business or a six-figure business, then you're in the right place. And today I'm going to give you 3 tips on improving your time management. And there's a reason why I wanted to hit this topic. The reason is because every time I talk to an entrepreneur or business owner, small business owner, or any business owner for that matter, and ask them what is the obstacles that are holding them back. Usually in the top 5 is time management. It's usually number 1, but it's somewhere in the top 5 with just about every person that I talk to. So I thought, why not come on here and kind of jailbreak some of the tips that I have in my time management course that I teach and pull 3 of those out for you that you can use and put into practice today. So that is what we're going to do. All right. And this will not only save you time, but this is going to end up saving you some money. And ultimately, there's a good reason for that too. So if you think about one of the things that we do as entrepreneurs, right? What is it that we see that nobody else sees? Opportunities, right? So we see opportunities everywhere, right? We see opportunities pop up when there's bad things that happen. We go, oh, well, but there's a silver lining. And we tend to find a way to either make money or see that there's a way to help our fellow man and earn a living at the same time. So that's kind of how we do things, right? There's a problem with that though. And the downside to that is that we see so many opportunities that it's hard for us to say no. And we don't be cautious about what it is that we're taking on. So if we can't be cautious about the things that we're taking on, we get really excited and we take on too much. So much like a magician at an old-timey carnival or fair, you'll see many of us entrepreneurs start to spin plates. That's what I call it, spinning plates on the little sticks, right? And you see how many you can spin, and before you know it, what happens? Well, exactly what happens is that you start spinning all these extra plates, and before you know it, one of those plates is going to fall. You're going to get overwhelmed. Something pops up, and it usually happens when you think, hey, I can do this. I can do these 57 or 58 things that I've got going, and I can do them all just well, fine and good. And you can on a normal day. But then something happens and throws you off, and before you know it, you are spinning plates and dropping plates and busting plates. And in the real world, when you start dropping plates that are spinning, that means you lose customers. That means you lose credibility. That means you lose the chance to go and help somebody with their business again. You lose a lot, right? And you lose a little bit of your confidence when that happens. So this will definitely help you. And you're going to get these 3 steps or these 3 things that you can do that will help you, and you can put them in practice today. Okay. And the first one is I'm going to talk about is how we get into a situation where we get so much on our plate to start with that we're trying to do, and we don't really have a plan. Right? We've got guidelines and we know what we're supposed to do each week, but we kind of want to go with the flow and see what opportunities are out there. And what that leads us to is not being able to plan. So what I want you to do is think about it like this, right? If you've got 10 tasks that need to get done to support your business, to support your customers, to support you, to make you feel good, to stay fit, to do all those things. If you've got 10 tasks to do in a week, right? and you have zero plan, you'll probably get 9 out of 10 of those done. Maybe postpone one to the next week if you're doing good and on a normal week. But if you are, but you're scurrying around, right? And you are scampering all over the place trying to just cover things. And you got to, oh man, I forgot this. Oh man, forgot that. I need to get over here and do this. I can't be in 2 places at one time. How can I get some help with this? And you put off this very by default kind of attitude or energy, and you start to only be able to take advantage of what happens to you, right? You've planned 10 things when you're only capable of doing 10 things, and now you are struggling to get all 10 of those done because there is no plan. You're kind of doing things by default. You're not able to make solid choices, and it puts you behind the 8 ball. And now you've got person B who is going to make a plan for the coming week. And they kind of live through that week or the big milestones of that week before it even happens. And they've got an idea of what they need to accomplish, what needs to happen each day, what needs to happen by the middle of the week, what needs to happen by the end of the week. And then as they're doing this, they're able to make choices and choose how those 10 tasks are going to unfold. So just from a task management standpoint, you got one person who's going to do 10 tasks. You got another person who's going to do 10 tasks. One of them is going to have zero plan and struggle all week long to keep up and feel exhausted at the end of the week. And one person is going to have spare time to think, to work out, to go for a walk, to call a friend, to connect with your family, to think of new ideas, to decide which ideas to take advantage of. So which one of those do you want to be, right? So the first one of these 3 tips is to plan. And the best way to be able to build a plan for your week is to pull out your calendar. You can use your journal. I use a journal where I make a calendar in my journal. But you can pull out your calendar and go ahead right now. This is not when you're going to plan, but go ahead right now and plan when you're going to plan. Give yourself at least an hour to plan your next week. I would prefer that you use 2. And if you would, go out there right now, and whether you're watching this on the replay or you're watching this live, go ahead and put out there, if you've got a calendar that you use on a daily basis and you do planning each week, just say yes or no. And no judgment whatsoever, just trying to get a feed here. Just type in replay if you're watching the replay, or live if you just, and put in yes for a calendar or no for a calendar that you use on a weekly basis to do your planning. Okay. What you're going to see when you start to do this hourly or this weekly ritual or habit is that when you put an hour aside to plan how your week is going to go. Now, who expects their week to go exactly like they planned? Probably not going to happen, right? But you've got much more maneuverability if you know that you have a plan. You're not worried about what all the things are that I've got to get done. And I'm talking about a little bit more than a checklist. I'm talking about a checklist with times and dates. So not super exhausting, but just, hey, I plan on getting this done by Thursday. I plan on getting this done by Friday, that kind of thing. So sitting down for that hour-long time or 2 hours recommended, and go through what the next week looks like. Once you're done with the next week, go ahead and start on the week after that and get yourself ahead of the planning that you're going to do the following week. But you need to have a plan. Okay. So the next thing that I want to share with you as far as a tip goes for time management, especially for entrepreneurs, this is so huge for entrepreneurs, small business owners who are wearing lots of different hats, right? You are not only the CEO and founder, you are also likely doing 90% of the accounting work, if not 100%. You are probably doing 50% of the legal work when it comes to finding documents and just sending it over to your attorney to decide if they want to approve them or not, or make a change. Lots of things that you're doing, right? You are chief salesperson. You are, again, CEO. You are the office manager. You are the person who is taking the calls, who are making the appointments. So you have a lot on your plate. And you are also a person who loves to see opportunities come your way. And because you've got eyes wide open, you've got this entrepreneurial energy, and you'll hear me talk about that a lot more in this channel. But now that you've got that entrepreneurial energy, you're seeing these opportunities just float in everywhere. And you also attract a lot of people that say, hey, this person gets a lot of stuff done. So how can I get them to either teach me how to get a lot of stuff done or help me get a lot of my stuff done? And what happens is people start to use your time. And good-natured entrepreneurs who are excited about working with other people, what do? We see opportunity in working with somebody and collaborating. So when they come along and they say, hey, can you help me with XYZ? We say, of course I can. Let's do that on this day because I've got, an hour of time that is not blocked on my calendar for some other thing. Of course I can help you, right? Or you know what? I can help you, but it's got to be Tuesday night. And it's got to be from, 7 till 10 o'clock because that's the only free time I've got. And then before you know it, you are double booking yourself and you have zero boundaries, all right? So if you're watching this on the replay or you're watching it live, type in boundaries because that is the second tip, all right? We want to be able to set boundaries and we want to be able to set them well. Okay. And there's lots of good literature out there on setting boundaries. There's a lot of good people that that know how to set boundaries pretty good. And usually they're the people that come and ask you for help, right? But if you're not good at setting boundaries, if you're not good at guarding your time, what will happen is you will become overbooked. And when you get overbooked, you're going to be overwhelmed. And when you get overwhelmed, those plates start to fall. And when those plates fall, customers get upset, you lose business. The opportunities that you had zip into the air and go away, right? So all of that. And you don't want that. So the next one is being able to set good, solid boundaries, okay? The third one is that I want you to think about your time management differently. This is going to require a mindset shift for you. And this mindset shift is, when you look back at this, you're going to say, wow, that was pretty simple. But it really is it really is huge. And the reason is because we don't think about our time this way naturally. And what I'm getting to here is the mindset shift that you'll need to make is that your no is a power. It's a superpower that you have. Your no that you have is a superpower. And often we are so used to saying yes as an entrepreneur that we just say yes, 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 yes. So it's a little bit related to boundaries, but it's a little bit different too. This is a mindset shift. So every yes that you put out there is a no to something else. It may be a no to something that you want to do. It may not be a no to something that you want to do. It may be a no to some things you don't want to do. That's good, right? But every yes that you agree to is a no to something else. And when you are not taking advantage of your no power, you are absolutely giving your power away. So when you give your power to someone or something else, you become at their mercy. And this isn't about a power struggle thing, but it's about you making a choice. And if you are operating at default, if you are operating as if all of this is happening to me and I'm just trying to catch what I can. I don't know if you remember those old, like those glass booths they used to have, and they'd put like dollar bills in them, and you put you in there for like a minute and you're trying to catch as many dollar bills as you can get. I don't know if you remember those kind of things or not, but that was like this big exciting thing. They blow a lot of air in there and you're trying to catch these dollar bills and however many you could get or whatever. That's a way that a lot of people manage their time, right? They get in the whirlwind, they're going 90 miles an hour, and before you know it, in that whirlwind, they're trying to catch as many dollars as they can or as many opportunities as they can and hope that something sticks, right? Well, spaghetti against the refrigerator is like that strategy, see what sticks, is not a strategy. It is actually a default mode. And when you're going to hear me talk about default energy level is down here. And when you get default energy level operating in your business, you're going to get default issues. You're going to get default clients. You're going to get default customers. You're going to get default problems. You're going to have default everything. And when everything is at default, you are forfeiting your choice. So the mindset shift here is don't forfeit your choice. Don't forfeit the power that you have to make a choice about your time. So what I'm going to say is that with this mindset shift, Dave Ramsey talks about this with money, right? He says a budget equals freedom, right? Having a budget equals freedom. It gives me the power to choose how I'm going to spend my money. It gives me the power to tell my dollars where they're going to go. Jocko Willink, extreme ownership, right? He would tell you that discipline equals freedom, right? And this isn't about being restrictive or rigorous to the point where it's not enjoyable or it becomes cumbersome. It's exactly the opposite. The same thing with your time, right? Your calendar is your time budget, and you get to decide where that time is spent. So if you choose to spend your time walking your dog for 30 minutes in the morning, great. If that's something you enjoy, do that. If you enjoy spending your time working out, great, do that. But if you enjoy spending your time doing these things, but you actually end up doing these things, that's a symptom that you're running in default. And you don't want to do that. So take back your choice. That's number 3. That's the tip number 3 is take back your choice on how you spend your time. Now that one's hard because it's going to require you to take the ultimate responsibility for your time. No longer can you say, I can't do that because I'm already booked. No longer can you say, I can't manage my time well. No longer do you get to say, I won't be able to do that because I'm overbooked. You can't. You're going to have to make the choice, the hard work to say, you know what? That sounds like a lot of fun, but I'm not going to do that right now because I'm already focused on something else. How about next week? Or, you know what? I'm going to choose to say no right now just because I'm already booked and I want to make sure that I'm giving as much of my focus and time as I can to the current things that I have on my plate. Okay. So let's revisit those real quick. I want to mention this too. Here's my notes. Remember I told you I brought my notes. The thing I want to mention here is when it comes to your things that you can do to get back some of your time, right? If you're living in default time management, that is terrible. I know how that feels. I've been there, struggled through that, learned my way out of it, do my best to not get there anymore. But if you were in default time management, I want you to lead your time. L is for lead and take control. And that's what we were just talking about, right? So you're going to be able to take control. You're going to be able to set your boundaries. You're going to be able to plan your time. That's taking leadership of your time. Ownership and leadership of your time. Total responsibility. It's all on you. Nobody else's fault. Just yours. You get to choose, right? That's L. E is for eliminate. I want you to look at things that you can eliminate. If you had to tell somebody this past week that you didn't have time to do something, and only you will know, but if you had to tell somebody that this past week, only you will know, then there's possibility that you could do some eliminating. And just to give you some examples, that could be eliminate social scrolling, right? Set a time for you to check I'm not telling you to do social media and get rid of it all. I think there's some good properties to social media, but we abuse it like anything else, right? Limit your social scrolling. Give yourself 15 minutes a night. Instead of watching that show on TV after dinner, scroll for 15 minutes, keep up with friends, check in on this group, all that good stuff. But eliminate your social scrolling just to open your pocket when you're standing somewhere and just flip through because it becomes a habit that you'll end up doing anywhere. Another one that you can eliminate is, and I know there's a lot of people going to get mad about this, but you can eliminate fantasy football, right? I've got fantasy football on my phone. I make time for it, but it doesn't rule my life, right? It could be fantasy football that you get rid of. It could be video games. It could be Netflix binges. It could be hobbies that you have, right? If you're participating in one of your hobbies 2 or 3 times a day and it's spending hours on it, maybe you cut that back. Maybe you eliminate some of the time that you're doing there, all right? So that's one way. And so there's lead, take control. There is E, eliminate, and that's eliminate things that are just spending your time. There is A, is automate out of the lead acronym, and those are things like bill pay, social posting. If you have a social media account for your online business, you need to do social media in some aspect, some shape, way, or form to stay relevant in many cases. But you can limit that instead of having to scour the internet every day for something to do and just feeling behind, like I didn't post something today, I didn't do a story today, or whatever it is. Those things, I get why they're important to certain businesses, but there are applications that you can use that allow you to schedule your posts. Even Facebook has a built-in scheduler where you can schedule posts. Unless you're doing a live like this, you can schedule your posts, and you can pick a handful of memes each week. You could get this down to about 30 minutes is what it takes to get some posting going to keep you relevant. And hopefully that helps. If you do own a group like this, group approvals, you can automate that. Scheduling emails that go out to your audience, you can automate that. You can do a lot of automation. And the last one here is D, so L-E-A-D, so lead. Lead is take control of your time. E is eliminate, the things that you can eliminate out of your, that are taking up your time where you could participate in something else. And automate is also going to give you some time back. And then the fourth one is D, and that is delegate. And delegate might be to someone who works for you, and it might be someone whom you've hired to do work for you. That can be a virtual assistant, that can be an attorney, that can be a CPA, that can be an intern. It could also be your dry cleaner. It could be your lawn care person. If it takes an hour and a half, 2 hours to do your yard each week, is that worth paying somebody a couple $100 a month and getting yourself 8 hours back? If somebody said, hey, you know what, I'll trade you, you get to have an extra Monday this week, and it's going to cost you $200. Could you make money in your business with that extra Monday? Because that's 8 hours that you'd be getting yourself back by paying a lawn person $200. So those are all different ways that you can delegate. So, so I'd love to hear your questions. I'd love to hear your comments. We will be doing some Facebook Live Ask the Coach sessions here coming soon. But here's 3 things to improve your time management skills that you can put in place today. And number 1 is plan. And in order to plan, you got to have time to plan. So go ahead and plan your time to plan. I call that pre-planning. But put yourself 2 hours on the calendar next week and do nothing but planning the following week. Not this week. Don't plan this week because you're already in it. Like if it's a Wednesday and you schedule out 2 hours, plan for next week so that you can get ahead of the ball, right? And the second one is boundaries. Be able to set good boundaries. That is the quintessential skill for entrepreneurs, to be able to set good boundaries and also set them for yourself. And then the third one is own your choice, right? It's you. You're the one that has to own the choice about how you spend your time. And some ways that you can get some of your time back is to use my little acronym of LEAD. LEAD, take control of your time, utter responsibility for it. E, eliminate the stuff that's taking your time away from you. Relentlessly eliminate it. And automate where you can. And D, delegate where you can. All right. So that's what I have for you today. Let me know if you like this type of thing. And if there's anything else that you'd like to learn about or something that you'd like me to take out of one of my courses and share a little bit about, I'd be happy to do that here. Just leave something in the comments down below. And I will see you next time.